Hey everyone, and welcome to Math. As we get started today, we are in Chapter 6, Lesson 3. And as we go into Chapter 6, Lesson 3, we are dividing by 2. So this is very much related to our multiplication. When we were in Chapter 6 for multiplication, we started with multiplying by 2. So just like that, we're going to be focusing on how to divide, and when we're dividing, how to set up a division problem, and we're going to focus on specifically the number 2. And the reason that we start with the 2's is because the 2's are something that most of us are very good masters of. So when we count by 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24 to 24. So 24. And that goes all the way from 0 to 12. So the idea today is we're going to be dividing by 2. Now, when you're dividing, you have to know your multiples. So that means that you have to be a master of the multiplication for that number in order to be fluent in reading the division problem. So let's go in and practice some of this skill. We're going to start with, you learned about division symbol as this symbol. Another symbol for division is this symbol. So we have two symbols that we're focusing on for division. And with that, we have our dividend, which is the total. Okay, so we have our total. Then we have our divisor, which is our groups or our part. And then we have our quotient, which is our groups or our part. So we take our divisor and we put it on the outside of the house, and we put our dividend or total inside the house. So the total always goes inside the house, the dividend. And then when you divide 2 into 10, 2 into 1 cannot happen. 2 into 10 is going to be 2 times 5 equals 10. And when you subtract, you get 0, which means you are done. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is how to divide and what it looks like to divide using the house. And a division house is what we're going to be focusing on, because as we get to bigger numbers and go into 4th and 5th grade, it gets bigger and challenging. So we have to make sure that we are using this skill of making our house and dividing with our house with these easier problems, so that way our skill set is strong when we get to the harder problems. So let's get into today's example. So today's example states, Javier and Alexis share an apple equally. So they have an apple, and it shows here they have an apple. How many apples is an apple? Okay, so there's one apple. There's two people. Now it says they are going to cut the apple into 8 slices. How many slices will each of them get? So we have to talk about this as, it says there's an apple, but an apple doesn't really matter because they've cut it already. And the apple is cut into 8 pieces. So having an apple is important to know that it's an apple, but it's not important to know that it's one apple because they already cut it up into slices. So we have a total slices to share equally between how many people? Javier and Alexis. 2 people. So we have 2 people, and these 2 people are sharing 8 slices, not one apple. So we want to make sure we have that focused. People means, by 2 people means to divide by 2. So we're dividing by the people. So find 8 divided by 2, or 2 into 8. So 8 divided by 2. Partition one counter at a time into each group until the counters are gone. Draw equal groups. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now all of our counters are used. Another way that you can draw it is to have 2 people, and they're sharing, so this is 2, they're sharing 8 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've shared 8 slices, which ends up being 4 in each row. So each one gets 4. So the model shows 8 divided by 2 equals 4, or 2 into 8 is 4. Each person will get 4 apple slices. So as we went into this today, we're showing that we can rewrite this as this. So our main focus today is to learn that 8 divided by 4 is the same as 4 into 8. So when writing this, we should probably write it like 8 divided by 4. And that'll help us to remember that our 8 is our total, and that's the first number we write inside the house. So let's move on. As we go on in the practice portion, make sure you continue to write the things that we're writing so you can practice each part, because I don't want you to find yourself getting frustrated because maybe you aren't writing all the practice and notes that we are doing. So let's go into example number 2. It says, a related multiplication fact can help you find the unknown in a division sentence. So what they're saying is to re-say the question. So when you re-say the question, let's go back to this 2 into 10. So 10 divided by 2 is the same as saying 10 divided by 2 is the same as saying 2 times something equals 10. So then you could say to yourself, 2 times what equals 10? 2 times 5 equals 10. So let's do that here. Max divided his collection of 12 feathers into 2 groups. So he has 12 total, which goes inside the house, or first, and then he's going to divide that by 2 groups. So 12 divided by 2 is the same as 2 times something equals 12. So all we did was take our total and move it to the end or the product section of the multiplication. You know that 2 times 6 equals 12, so 12 divided by 2 equals 6. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. The unknown was 6. There are 6 feathers in each group. So again, we're just rewriting the sentence as a multiplication sentence. And we're going to continue on with our guided practice and make sure that you have your pencil ready and your notes. You're keeping all the notes that we're doing in all of these problems. So we're going to start with dividing, and we're going to use a related multiplication fact for each division problem. So let's get started with number 1. Number 1 says divide 4 into 2. So 4 divided by 2, 4 divided by 2 is the same as saying 2 times something equals 4, because the total is here inside the house. And for multiplication, the total is always at the end. So we have to understand that our total goes inside the house or at the end for multiplication. So then you say 2 times what equals 4? Well, there's 4 total with 2 groups. How many are in each group? There's 2 in each group. So 2 times 2 equals 4. Next, we have 10 divided by 2, which is the same as 10 divided by 2. So when we have 10 divided by 2, we're going to take our smaller number, our part, which is 2 groups, times how many in each group equals 10 total. So 2 times what equals 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 2 times 5 equals 10. Let's come on down here. We have 6 total divided by 2 groups. So 2 groups times something equals 6. So we count 1, 2, 3. 3. So hopefully you're seeing that we're using the manipulatives, the counters, to solve these division problems, but the goal is to understand that our total, our total goes to the end of the multiplication problem. So this allows us to use our multiplication knowledge, our multiplication facts, to help us find answers to division problems. And that's the key with division, is memorizing your multiplication facts or using your multiplication table. You have to do both to make sure that you get in. So let's go. We have independent practice. This is going to be yours. You're working on your independent practice independently. Come back to this video after you're done to check your work. So you're only watching this video once your work is done, so that you can see if you did it well, and if you did something wrong, you can check your work and check my video to see how you got how to correct what you got wrong. So start pausing the video now and complete your independent practice and come back to me. All right, so double checking with your independent practice. We have 14 divided by 2 is 7, and you should have 2 times 7 equals 14. Here we have 2 into 18 is the same as 2 times 9 equals 18, so 9 is our answer. Here we have 4 divided by 2, which is 2 times something equals 4, and it's 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. Here we have 2 times something equals 16, and that something is 8. Here we have 2 times something equals 18. That something is 9. Here we have 2 divided by 2 is the same as 2 times 1 equals 2. So 1 is our answer. 2 times something equals 20, and that something is 10. 2 times something equals 6, and that's 3. And now I'm going to just clear my answers and move down. Check your work. Make sure you're getting these correct. We have match the division to the related multiplication. So we have 2 times 8 equals 16. 2 times 8 equals 16. 2 times 6 equals 12. 6 times 2 equals 12. 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. 4 times 2 equals 8. Find the unknown, then write the related multiplication sentence. So I'm going to say 6 times something equals 12. 2. 2 times something equals 14. 7. 2 times 3 equals, they didn't give us the total this time, so you had to be careful. 6 is the total. All right, so moving on to the back side. And on the back side, we have Damien. Make sure that you finish these. If you did not finish these yet, pause this video, finish these, and check your work. Damien will plant 12 total seeds. So we have 12 seeds divided by 2, groups of 2. How many groups of 2 will he have? So groups of 2. So we have 2 times something equals 12. 2 times 6. So it's 6 groups. Kyle and Alan equally divide a package of 14 erasers. So 14 divided by 2 people. And that's the same as saying 2 times 7 equals 14. So we have 7 erasers. Lydia shared her 16 bottle caps equally with Pilar. Pilar then shared her caps equally with Timothy. How many caps does Pilar and Timothy each have? So Lydia had 16. She divided it by her and Pilar. So Pilar has 2 times 8 equals 16. Then Pilar split 8 between her and Timothy. So 8 divided by 2. So 8 divided by 2 equals 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. So Pilar and Tim have 4 caps. And then we move down to number 22. Make sure you check your notes. Save my work if you need to. And you have learned that when any number is multiplied by 2, the product is even. Is the same true for division of an even number divided by 2? So if you said 10 divided by 2, is the number even? No. So in this case, no, because 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 5 is odd. So the answer to a division problem dividing by 2 is not always going to be even. So we understand that now. Any number divided by 2 is not even. Always. Not always even. Sometimes. Every other. Blake says that 8 divided by 2 is 16 because 2 times 8 is 16. Is he correct? No. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. He multiplied both times. Sorry for my vacuum noise. How does the relationship between division and multiplication help you find the unknown? Multiplication is the opposite of division. So it's the inverse operation. So it undoes it. And that means that we'll find our answer by just looking at that. Moving on, we have our homework. You're going to do number 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 12. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 12. Once you finish with your homework, you're done with your math. So make sure that you take your time, go through that homework, practice rewriting the division sentence as a multiplication sentence, and you are done. Have a great day. Talk to you later.